wie in Europa unterschiedliche Sterilisationsgesetzgebungen ja auch bereits in Amerika oder in Skandinavien praktiziert worden sind.
In the United States, as early as 1907, psychiatrists successfully pushed for the passage of laws providing for the sterilization of the feeble-minded. Courses on eugenics were offered at some of the leading universities, including Harvard, Columbia, and Brown. By 1934, 28 American states had eugenics sterilization laws on the books. In the end, eugenic practitioners in the United States prevented thousands of marriages, isolated thousands more into colonies against their will, and forcibly sterilized some 64,000. In Sweden, another 60,000, mostly women, were sterilized between the 1930s and 1976, when their sterilization law was abolished. Other countries practicing eugenics included Czechoslovakia, Austria, Brazil, Japan, Switzerland, Canada, Denmark, Norway, Finland, France, the Soviet Union, Great Britain,
the prison door's locked, look. I can't open the prison door. The prison door's locked. So they've actually gone and locked the prison door. Can't open the prison door. So it's not possible to now open the prison door. Look what kind of locks you've got on the door. This hasn't been belted in for a number of years by the police, though, has it? It's a bit late, it's about 4 minutes past 1 though, isn't it? Look at the type of doors they've given him. Like a metal plate door. Look at that nice metal plate door there, look. That'll take a bit of bashing in by the police though, wouldn't it? That nice metal plate, that'll take a bit of bashing in by the police though, wouldn't it? Look at all the stupid posters on the wall, and they've got miserable shit lives that are controlled by others living in luxury with no psychiatric control for no reason. People don't need to have psychiatry and social workers interfering with their lives, making a mess of their lives.
China and Peru. The sterilization laws of the last two are still on the books. As for Germany, the seeds of their own eugenics legislation were planted by another psychiatrist, as revealed by Frank Schneider, then president of the German Association of Psychiatry and Psychotherapy, the largest psychiatric membership organization in Germany.
Es war ein Psychiater, wir haben es gerade gehört, Alfred Erich Hoche, der in seinem 1920 erschienenen Buch zur Frage
plenty of thought police about. They're certainly not short of staff though, are they? At least to control people's lives.
Aber der Vernichtung, wie er nannte, lebensunwerten Lebens, gemeinsam mit dem Juristen Karl Binding den Begriff Ballastexistenzen prägte und einen Katalog angeblich unheilbarer psychischer Krankheiten erstellte, die er Zustände geistigen Todes nannte. 1930 wurde daraus in den nationalsozialistischen Monatsheften die Förderung, Zitat, Tod dem lebensunwerten Leben.
The pseudoscience of eugenics rapidly swept across Germany. In the 1924 book Mein Kampf, Hitler himself hailed the psychiatric theory of eugenics as the science that would rebuild his nation.
Wer körperlich und geistig nicht gesund und würdig ist, der sein Leid nicht im Körper seines Kindes verewigen. Das Recht der persönlichen Freiheit tritt zurück gegenüber der Pflicht der Erhaltung der Rasse.
In Hitler, Ernst Rudin had finally found the vehicle that would make his long-held dream come true, as he would triumphantly declare when Hitler came to power.
Durch das politische Werk Adolf Hitlers wurde endlich unser mehr als 30-jähriger Traum zur Wirklichkeit, Rassenhygiene in die Tat umsetzen zu können.
Ich weiß bloß, dass Rüdin sehr erfreut war, dass ihm die Nationalsozialisten dann die Möglichkeit gaben, da richtig durchzugreifen und seine Thesen, seine Ideen auch zu verwirklichen.
Das war dann so etwas wie der Rüdinsche Traum. Jetzt können wir richtig zeigen, was wir können, wie wir eine bestimmte Elite fördern und die nicht da reinpassen, eben ausmerzen. 6 months after taking power, the Nazi Party turned to Rudin to lead the drafting of the 1933 Law for the Prevention of Genetically Diseased Offspring, which allowed the compulsory sterilization of any citizen who, in the opinion of a genetic health court, suffered from a list of alleged genetic disorders. Not that victims ever had a chance. Courts mandated sterilization 88.8% of the time.
Certainly keep a lot of records on people's lives, aren't they? Obviously, the thought police. They've not even got a lot of represented there. They've got the police involved, followed by the Greater Manchester NHS for the the Crown Prosecution Service. So you need to be you need to not harm the staff, even though the staff are harming the patients for no justified reason and making their lives a total wrecked disaster, damaging the home's addresses, complicit in allowing the property to be stolen from the home address, and then damaging and causing visual health worsening difficulties on the patients.
Entscheidend in Deutschland war dann sicherlich eben das Gesetz zur Verhütung erbkranken Nachwuchses 1934, 1933 und 1934 dann in Kraft getreten, was sozusagen auch hier diese Zwangssterilisationen sozusagen aufs Programm stellte.
With this law in place, psychiatrists in Germany would officially begin the wholesale sterilization of its mental patients. In the next 12 years, a total of 400,000 German citizens would be sterilized.
Look at all the stupid leaflets. It's certainly not going to explain any of that, though, is it? Look at all the propaganda leaflet information. It's certainly not going to explain all that, though, is it? That's just ridiculous stupidity, though, isn't it? It's certainly not going to explain all that, though, is it?
Begann mit der zwangsweisen Unterbringung in psychiatrischen Anstalten zur Überprüfung des Krankheitsbildes und endete tatsächlich auch mit Gewaltanwendung bei widerständigen Patienten, die ins Krankenhaus gebracht wurden und mit Gewalt auf den Operationstisch gelegt wurden.
Die Zwangssterilisation, die wurde grundsätzlich ohne das Einverständnis des psychisch Kranken gemacht. Man hat ihnen nur gesagt, dass eine kleine Operation gemacht würde, hat sie aber nicht gefragt, ob sie das wollen und auch ihnen nicht gesagt, was gemacht wurde.
But the psychiatrists then took the eugenics movement a giant step further, when the sterilization turned to murder.
How's How's it going?
Are you going to come through?
It's about 13 minutes past 1.
All right, I'm sorry to keep you. Come through. Gary, you want to turn the camera off?
No, I can't do that. There's a documentary being made by CCHR on Pennine Care NHS Foundation Trust already. There's quite a few more cameras beside this on the way. There's actually, Brian Daniels, one of my friends, has already made an interview about Raj Prasad already, the dodgy psychiatrist, and put it on Scientology TV, haven't they?
Right, come through.
So you're going to let me go through the prison locked door?
Right, Gary, if you want to leave...
You're built like a bit of a thug, aren't you? Quite strong, aren't you?
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah, you can basically hold the patient down and restrain the patient, can't you?
Chris is a social worker in the team, okay.
Well, your staff are built like nightclub bouncers. There's visual indication of that. You're smiling now, but you're built like a thug.
Well, thanks for saying
Your
so.
staff aren't flimsy. You're built like thugs.
Gary,
And here's the evidence. You're built like a smiling thug
I'm going to
that's
show you how
attacking the
you
patients.
get out. You're not held in here. If you want to come out of here,
yeah.
then you press that button.
Well, there should not be locks on the door, locking the doors. I now can't open the door. Look. They've locked me inside the prison room. I can't open the door. There should be no locks on the door.
Press to exit. Right, look. Let me
Yeah,
press
but you
that.
can override the electrics on that.
No,
That's
I
a
can't.
dodge. You
No, I
you can
can't.
do. You can. There's proof of that.
Right.
You can override
Look,
the electrics
push the button,
on that.
Push the door.
Well, you can override the electrics on that to
They
isolate
don't
the
teach
door.
me that in social work college.
No, there's
you.
proof
Come
on that. You can isolate the water inside the patient's bathrooms and also the sockets and also the lights inside the patient's rooms and bathrooms outside the door.
Listen for a sec. What would you feel more comfortable? Would you feel for me to go in first or for you to go in first?
You don't need to be in the interview room.
I do, unfortunately.
No,
So
I don't need
what
to
I'm
be
asking-
interviewed by two thought police.
No, listen.
I
do,
don't.
unfortunately.
No, you
so
do
it's
not
your
need
choice.
to be. I don't need to get overpowered with conversation
Gary, I'm
by
gonna
the
sit
thought
you
police.
closest to the door, okay?
No, I do not need to get overpowered by the thought
No
police.
one's trying to overpower you, Gary.
You should not be in the interview room.
You're only seen in twos.
No,
aren't you,
I've not
Gary?
been told to see you. What's your name?
You seem to.
I've got another patient in this room that's getting very upset by you shouting. Would you mind
I'm not
taking-
shouting. You're lying now, and you assaulted me on the ward, and I've got proof.
Gary, I'm going to go back in with my client, but if you
I'm
could
going to see
take
you
it
in
away.
reception, okay?
You
Let's go
assaulted
through
me and held me down on the ward, on Saxon ward,
Gary,
and chemically
I'm opening the
injected
door
me.
behind
And
you.
you're the actual individual now.
Gary, come through to reception.
And now you've actually got to lock the door now.
Gary, come through to reception.
You've just touched me on my shoulder. Get off my shoulder now. That's assault.
Come and sit down here.
Right, he just basically touched me right hand shoulder with that's actually assault.
Let's have a sit down.
So you just agreed that you just touched me on the right hand shoulder.
Gary.
That's legalistically assault.
No. What
So you've just assaulted. You just assaulted the patient.
You
You just touched me.
Listen,
You
Gary,
just touched me on my right hand shoulder. That's
because,
assault.
let me speak now, let me have a turn to speak. The reason Chris did that was because you were walking into a room where we've
No,
got
I
someone
was just
sat
checking
there.
that it was a prison door.
Jody told you.
I was checking if it was a prison door.
Jody told you that the person that she's with is becoming upset.
Yeah, but there's no proof on that. I've got proof on what you're saying is being
The proof
lies.
is that Jody said that, okay?
No, I wasn't shouting. There's proof I wasn't shouting,
everything
and
would
you're
be on
telling
your camera
lies.
anyway, so
Yeah.
it's
Well, you're
absolutely
telling
fine.
lies, aren't you?
Well,
You
it's
should
on
not.
your
You should
camera.
not touch the patients.
It's
That
on
is
your camera.
illegal. You've assaulted me as a patient.
Gary, I want to be able to speak to you today, so I'm going to try and work out the best way to do that, okay? You sit down here.
Why are you keeping records
this.
on patients in
Let me say
Tameside
this.
and digging information out like thought police? Why are you acting as thought police?
I'm not acting as thought police. I've just
Well,
asked
do
you
you
to
know what
come
thought
down
police
here
is? Do you know what thought police are?
Let me just say, I've asked
Do you
you
know
to...
exactly know what thought police are?
Right. Let me just say one thing, Gary, because this isn't helpful for you either. I've asked you to come down here today because it's part of the conditions of your CTO.
Yeah, and you're wrecking people's lives in Tameside in an area space of 230,000 people. That isn't normal in any way whatsoever. You're living independent existences, and the patients are controlled by you in luxury as you harm the patient.
Gary, I've asked you to come down here today.
You're allowing destitute people on the streets to walk around in miserable, decrepit condition in the worst ways possible.
We don't need to speak about those things. When you come to
Well, because
your
I'm a member of the
appointment,
public,
it's
I'm
for
allowed
you.
to talk about what I want.
It's for you, this appointment.
I'm a member of the public. You're a